there's our third topic, which I think this is the one that is maybe most intriguing to me is the availability of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins went in as we've been over the last few days and met with Falcons ownership and had a sit down with Arthur Blank last Wednesday night. So that's 8 days ago now. Told Arthur Blank that he would like to have the opportunity to start somewhere in 2025. And the Falcons more or less communicated that their feeling is that based on the investment they made in signing Kirk Cousins to the contract they signed him to, that is a better value for them at $100 million over 2 years, which if you add the guarantee that would vest on Monday, $100 million over 2 years with the insurance policy on Michael Penix this year is a better deal for them than just taking the sunk cost of $90 million over 1 year. Now, you can make the argument, of course, that with with everything that goes on to play, goes into being a young quarterback in the NFL and everything that goes into your first year starting, that you might be creating a healthier environment for Michael Penix if Kirk Cousins isn't in the room, if there isn't that threat to his job in there. And I think the idea there is if he has a rough first month, he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. And the room is really built around him, rather than having the former starter in there with him. And then, I think that there's the reality for the Falcons, which is, again, you're looking at the investment, and I do think they look at the business end of this. So to break down the business end of it, they've already paid him $62.5 million for a single year. That money is not coming back. Then they have $27.5 million for this year that is already fully guaranteed. That money, one way or the other, is getting to Kirk Cousins. And then if he's on the roster on Monday, $10 million of his money for 2026 becomes fully guaranteed. Now, that money can still be offset. So if Kirk Cousins were cut after this year and somebody's willing to pay him $15 million or $20 million to come and be their quarterback in 2026, then the Falcons would be completely off the hook. If nobody's willing to go to 10 million, well, then he's just going to get the minimum and the Falcons would be on the hook for the rest of it. So that's where you look at it and you say, okay, it'd be close to 100 million for over 2 years. So where's the solution here? You have the Falcons who are worried about their investment and doing good, sound business. You have Cousins who wants to play. And then you have a bunch of teams out there that might look at Kirk Cousins as a better option than Russell Wilson, that he might be a better option than Joe Flacco or anyone else who's out there. Well, my solution for this would be that over the weekend, before that guarantee vests, Kirk Cousins camp works with the Falcons together to go find a team that's willing to come in and buy a draft pick. And let's just say theoretically that the Falcons say, okay, we're willing to take on $15 million of the deal. So now you'd be saying to another team, you only have to pay $12.5 million for this year. So that's less than Daniel Jones got. That's less than Justin Fields got. And then maybe you can negotiate an agreement with Kirk Cousins and his agent and say, okay, you're going to get all your money this year. Then we'll have you on the books for $20 million next year. You already have the $10 million fully guaranteed, and the $20 million will give us an opportunity to keep you on the roster. So for us coming in and swooping in and giving up a draft pick to get you, you're giving us sort of the deal that Justin Fields has with the Jets now, where with the Jets, Justin Fields' deal says he's got $10 million fully guaranteed next year and $20 million total. It, I think, is a creative solution that could work. And if you're a team like the Browns and you look at it and you need some sort of economically feasible solution because you're working around the logistics of the $46 million that Deshaun Watson has fully guaranteed this year and the $46 million of guaranteed money Deshaun Watson has next year, maybe you look at this and you say, for 12.5, if we can have Kirk Cousins in here, yes, that's worth a 4th round pick for us. So the Falcons then can walk away knowing that they got out of $12.5 million that they were committed to. They get their 4th round pick. The Browns have their starting quarterback. They're only paying $12.5 million for him. Michael Penix has a cleaner environment to work in 2025. So when he needs to ride out, when the time comes and he has to ride out some bumps, there's no one that he's looking over his shoulder at. To me, it makes all the sense in the world. Whether or not that can get done between now and Monday, we'll see. But I do think there are 3 checkpoints in the Cousins saga. The first checkpoint is the one on Monday, as we explained. The second one would be on draft weekend, maybe after the first round of the draft, after a team or two didn't wind up getting a quarterback. maybe there's a trade opportunity for the Falcons there. And then, at the start of training camp. So this, again, is a complex situation. Cousins would like to start. The Falcons don't want to do bad business. Penix is sitting there, I think, with the opportunity to have a cleaner environment. Again, if Cousins isn't around, doesn't mean they don't get along, but I think it would be a cleaner environment. To me, it just makes sense to try to work towards that solution. We'll see if they can get it done.